Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting into a feeling that I think we all know way too well. That feeling of being just completely and utterly exhausted. Does this hit home for you? You know that deep, down-to-your-bones kind of tired? The kind that makes you wonder if you'll ever catch up on sleep. It's that feeling where the day has barely started and you're already just done. So yeah, it's a really simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's a lot more complicated than you might think. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into the real science behind why we're all so tired. And more importantly, explore some actual practical ways to get our energy back. Okay, let's dive right in. Because the very first thing you need to know is, if you're feeling this way, you are so far from being alone. This is not just some personal failing. It is a massive global issue. Just think about this for a second. 1 in every 5 adults around the world says they deal with long-term fatigue. We're talking for months on end. And for a lot of these folks, there's no clear medical condition behind it. It's just modern life. And when you zoom in on specific countries, the numbers are just, wow, they're staggering. In the US, almost half the population feels sleepy multiple days a week. And over in the UK, it's even more intense, with 1 out of every 8 adults saying they feel tired all the time. Not just sometimes, all the time. In fact, it's become such a common thing for doctors to hear that the UK's National Health Service actually gave it an official acronym, TATT. You know, it's a serious, widespread problem when it gets its own medical abbreviation, right? So to really get our heads around this daily energy drain, we need a new way of looking at it. We need a way to actually visualize our energy. And that brings us to this absolutely brilliant metaphor that I think you'll find really helpful. It's called the spoon theory. So, imagine this. Every morning, you wake up with a set number of spoons. Let's say 12. These spoons represent all the physical and mental energy you have for that day. And every single thing you do, no matter how small, costs you a spoon. Just think about how this plays out. Simply getting up and taking a shower? That's 1 spoon gone. Your commute to the office? There goes another. That really intense, high-stress meeting? Whoa, that could cost you 3 spoons. And then trying to go grocery shopping after work? That might take 4 spoons right there. All of a sudden, you see how you're running on empty before the day is even over. It really forces you to ask a tough question. If you only have, say, 12 spoons to last you the entire day, you have to get real strategic, real fast. What's worth a spoon? What isn't? It really shines a light on where your energy is going. So why are we running out of spoons so darn fast? Well, to find the answer, we have to look inside our own brains, which it turns out are being pushed to their absolute limits by the world we live in. See, our brains are just constantly overloaded. First off, you've got something called decision fatigue. From what to eat for breakfast to which email to open first, every little choice chips away at our mental energy. It's literally like a computer slowing to a crawl because you have 100 tabs open. Then there's chronic stress. It keeps our cortisol levels jacked up, which leads to that horrible tired but wired feeling. You're completely exhausted, but your mind just will not switch off. And you know, chemically, there's a little battle raging inside your head all day long. A chemical called adenosine slowly builds up. It's basically your brain's sleep pressure signal. It's yelling, hey, it's time to rest. But what do most of us do? We grab a coffee. Caffeine comes in and acts like a blocker. It just puts its hands over adenosine's mouth for a little while, but it doesn't actually get rid of the fatigue. It just postpones it, which is why that afternoon crash feels so brutal. Okay, so we know we need more rest, but how do we get it? You see all these different cultural solutions on social media, but they're not always the whole story. So let's do a quick myth-busting round, separating fact from fiction. Myth number 1. The Spanish siesta. We all have this romantic image of the entire country napping in the afternoon. The reality? Nope. In big cities and for most people with a 9-to-5 job, the siesta is pretty much a thing of the past. All right, next up, the Scandinavian 6-hour workday. Sounds amazing, right? A perfect work-life balance. But while a few companies have tried it out, it is absolutely not the national standard. Most people there are still working a regular 8-hour day. Okay, while those are myths, here is a fascinating one that is 100% real. In Japan, there's a concept called inemori, which roughly translates to being present while sleeping. Napping at your desk or even in a meeting isn't seen as being lazy. Get this, it can actually be seen as a sign of dedication. You've worked so hard, you've literally exhausted yourself. Wild, right? So here's the deal. If those cultural ideals aren't the magic fix we thought they were, then what is? Well, the science points to a surprisingly simple 5-part toolkit, a formula you can remember with just one word.
And that word is huzur. It's a Turkish word and it means peace or tranquility, which is just perfect. Each letter stands for a core pillar of fighting fatigue. Hareket, which is movement, uyku, which is sleep, zaman, time management, uyum, which is harmony, and rutin, which is routine.
Let's start with H for hareket, or movement. Now I know, this is the great paradox of being tired. The absolute last thing you feel like doing is moving. But physical activity is one of the best ways to actually create energy. And we're not talking about running a marathon here. A simple 20 or 30-minute walk every day can make a world of difference. Next up, U for uyku, or sleep. And the key here is focusing on the quality of your sleep, not just the quantity. Your bedroom needs to become a sleep sanctuary. Think dark, quiet, and cool. And, this is a big one, we have to be disciplined about putting away our phones and screens before bed. That blue light directly messes with our body's natural sleep signals. And the last 3 letters, Z, U, and R, are really about creating a system for your life. Z is for Zaman, time management. Figure out when your peak energy hours are and do your hardest stuff then. U is for Uyum, or harmony. Work with your body's natural rhythm, not against it. Are you a morning lark or a night owl? Embrace it. And finally, R is for routine. Routine. This is what stabilizes everything else with balanced meals, staying hydrated, and being smart about your caffeine. And that brings us to what might be the single most important idea in all of this. Being tired is not a character flaw. It is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It is a biological signal. It's feedback. Your body is trying to tell you something important. And the first, most powerful thing you can do is just listen. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. After everything we've talked about, what is the one small change, just one, that you can make today to start listening to that signal and to finally give your body the rest it's been screaming for? Thanks for tuning in.